number you have dialed has been changed.
There is a sea, and I am captain of something unknown. Waves, tides, mountains. Is It Nefarious will be a series of episodes. In these episodes, we will attempt to take a look at both sides of the story of various nefarious topics. These exercises are presented for you to have the opportunity to hone your own discernment, take what resonates, and leave the rest. These will be exercises in big thinking, some mental yoga, if you will. And with that, let's begin. Is it nefarious?
Why is it that I am in here, it seems like every 5 minutes, trying to help you guys navigate how to keep these slippery bastards hemmed in? For Christ's sake, what is the problem this time?
We are receiving reports from our generals that there is a high number of our legions that are breaking ranks and going AWOL. They have reported to the Union leaders that they are going on strike until their working conditions are safe.
Safe? Of course they're safe. What is the problem?
Well, recently there has been large outbreaks of intuition being used among the poor schlubs. This intuition, in combination with their discernment, allows them to see right through our bullshit, and it hasn't been good for our boots on the ground. They're having to run for their lives.
See right through our bullshit? Well, that's alarming. You said that this is something that they just had. I mean, can't we just overwrite the program in the DNA or something like that and shut it down?
Our attempts to do so have been unsuccessful. We keep having these recurrent flare-ups here and there. It's like syphilis. It's just spreading like wildfire.
I see. Well, if we can't take it out of them, then we have to keep it away from them. Have the generals launch protocol number 1. Fear. That should slow them down.
Intuition. It's your gut feeling, a hunch, a suspicion, an insight. It is an inherent knowing. It is innate. It is an inherently innate instinct that gives you insight concerning a matter or person. We interpret this as our gut feeling, a hunch, a suspicion about whatever subject. And what does our gut tell us? Where does that information come from? Do you listen to your intuition? Or maybe you question if you should. Our culture tells us that this gut feeling is hogwash. There's no science to it, and therefore it does not exist. And if you think it does, you're a loon in need of some kind of psychiatric treatment. And it's the playground of the devil and should be avoided at all costs for your own safety. Western culture works very hard to keep us away from it.
We have found the witch. May we burn her?
I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch.
But you are dressed as one.
They dressed me up like this.
From outright dismissal to instilling fear of it. And if I were one of those conspiracy types, I would ask myself, what's it trying to hide? Is there something here worth knowing? Because it works really hard to keep you from knowing it. Well, I have an inquiring mind, and I tend to ponder such foolishness. Does it even exist? I think, across the board, we all have experienced a gut feeling, that sensation that something is off or not quite right. And if you can agree on that point, then it's easy to say we all have it, whatever it is. And simply saying it can't be measured scientifically does not make a thing false. It probably just indicates that the science hasn't found the instrument to measure it yet. But perhaps in 100 years from now, when they do discover such a device, intuition might be accepted as our sixth sense. But right now, we're still in the dark ages on this subject. So what is it, this knowing inside ourselves? And is it something that we do need to fear? If it's fair to say that we all have it, then it should be included with our other senses we all know we share. Just like those senses, it is a tool we use to navigate our reality. Just like your taste or your hearing, it's a tool. Now think of it like a sonar wave. When we discern something, we send out a sonar wave, a frequency that resonates our truth, and it hits the subject of interest and comes back to us with a comparison frequency. We discern if it matches our truth and decide how to respond. If it matches, it is friendly. If it doesn't, it is not. This is instinct. We have a radar system, just like bats and dolphins. Ours is designed to help us navigate in the realms of our consciousness instead of physicality. Like all of our other senses, it is intended to be used. So why don't we use it? It's been banished from our culture. Is there a reason for that? Is it a grand scheme to deny you of one of your senses? It doesn't matter. We are here now, and you might have a new perspective on this extra sense, and you may want to take advantage of it. If you had lived your life blindfolded and then realized that you could use your vision to see, would you keep wearing the blindfold? In my opinion, it's a tool that's a part of us, and we should learn to use it. Easier said than done because we have no user manual. We also don't have a user manual for our eyes, but yet we still use them to see. And the same goes here. It's a personal interpretation. I can't pick up this tool and show you how to use it and use it safely. It's a personal experience. But what I can do is tell you how I hold the tool and how I use it safely. If you want to develop your intuition, you have to get to know it. It's a relationship. And like all healthy relationships, it requires a foundation of trust. And this is where the doubt and the fear our culture programmed into us can cause problems. We ask ourselves the questions, what are we having a relationship with? And where is this gut feeling coming from? And these are valid questions. We can turn to religion and mysticism, but what we find are opinions, not facts. There are no facts. The only truth you are going to find on this subject is your personal truth. Your discernment is required. The strength of your intuition is proportional to your trust in your own discernment. We have to trust the information that we are getting from our gut for this tool to work. And we can ask ourselves, how the heck are we supposed to trust something we can't see, taste, hear, smell, touch? You're saying it is some kind of bloody bat phone. Well, who's picking up on the other end? How are you going to trust that? I hear you. That's a valid question. But I'm going to ask you one question about your intuition. Has your gut feeling ever led you wrong? Has it ever put you in harm's way? Has it ever lied to you? Has it ever misled you? And I'll say right here, if it ever has, you need to hang up the phone because you have a bad connection, and we will clarify how to get a good connection in just a few moments. Meanwhile, hang up. So what's that you say? Did I hear a resounding no? It has never done any of those things. And isn't that, I ask you, the definition of trustworthy? What's picking up on the other end has your best interest in mind and has proven itself trustworthy. What is it? There are as many names for it as there are cultures. It's your relationship, call it what you will. This is the force that animates matter. It is your spirit. This force animates all things. It is the consciousness of matter. I call it Great Spirit. You may call it Holy Spirit, Higher Self, Krishna, whatever name. It is the same thing. That sounds simple, but it's challenging to trust the unknown. How do you guarantee who's on the other end? Who is picking up the phone? And this is very important. If you just pick up a phone and dial willy-nilly, you have no clue who's going to pick up, right? The thing to understand here, this is your phone. It is your personal hotline. And like all phones nowadays, you can personalize it. You can choose who to block. You decide who can ring through. Your phone, your rules. You program your phone with your intention. Be very clear with your rules. Write them down, speak them out loud. For me, my parameters are very strict. All calls are screened by my personal assistant, my higher self. The only thing that gets patched right through to me is the creator of all creation, source. Otherwise, it's leave a message and we'll get back to you if we want to. Your rules are your protection. Use them and the good sense God gave you. Remember, when you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes, and I don't recommend it. Your intuition is a relationship between you and whatever you are choosing to talk to or to open to. Choose wisely who you allow to pick up on the other end. This is your choice. Not choosing is a choice. Don't play stupid games. Our intuition is a powerful tool. And like all tools, you have to learn to use it properly, and you have to hone your skills and practice. If you are interested in building a relationship and growing a stronger intuition, there are things that you can do. If you're in a hurry and you want a crash course, then you simply can use any one of the many forms of hallucinogens that are designed for this purpose. If that isn't your speed, then I would recommend baby steps and just begin with very simple things. There is a phenomenon that is known as the ask. This is based on very simple yes or no questions, and you ask yourself, your body, to tell you yes or no. I recommend starting with yes or no questions that you absolutely know the answer to. You know your own name, and an answer will come from your body in the sensation of being pushed forward or backward. Seriously, I'm not kidding. You need to try this. It actually works. You will have the sensation, and it will come from your body, just generally around where your hands are folded in front of your heart. And you will have the sensation of tipping forward or backward. Just simply stand relaxed, your hands together in front of your heart, close your eyes, ask your question, is the sky blue? See what happens. Feel for the sensation. Just relax and feel for the sensation. This is a very good way for you to engage your own personal intuition and begin to build a relationship of trust with it. Then when you are feeling good about your relationship, that you are understanding, okay, there is something here, there is this extra sense, and I want to learn more about it. The next phase is giving your intuition a way to communicate with you in the physical reality. And what I mean here is you talk to it and give it a way to talk back to you. There are many ways to do this. Any form of divination is, I think, what this would be considered doing. Finding an avenue for your intuition to speak with you. There are many things that humans have already created to do this job for them, help them communicate with their intuition. But none of those things are necessary. Remember, you have your own personal bat phone, and you get to choose the rules, which means that you can decide how you want to set that language up. You set your parameters, and you ask for confirmation in the reality, and it can be anything. You can make your own quote-unquote tarot cards. Simply sit down, cut out some little shapes that are going to be consistent with one another, and write messages on them. If you have certain statements that you use or affirmations or whatever it is, make yourself your own deck of tarot cards. Make yourself a playlist of important songs that have special meanings to you. Ask for the guidance that you're seeking for and hit random and see what sort of message comes back to you. You hone your trust in your intuition with practice. Declare your rules for who can pick up on the other end of the line. Your higher self and the creator of all creation have one thing, one intention for you, and it is your best and highest good. Period. That's it. Trust yourself and build this relationship. Spirit will go as deep into a relationship as you wish. You can go deep into this practice of communicating with your higher self or spirit, whatever label you want to put on it. This relationship can become very strong if that is your choice. It will go at your pace. You may need to go at a pace where you set time aside to focus on this relationship, like meditation or just setting time aside where you're going to go in and work on your personal tarot deck or whatever it is. You may need to do this in small bites and pieces. This relationship is a personal experience, and you cannot compare yourself to someone else because everyone's journey is very different. It is very unique to you, and you have to take it at the pace that makes you comfortable. And some people may be on the exact opposite of the spectrum, where every moment is a communication, is a constant conversation with your higher self. It's your pace. Set your needs. Your intuition is a tool, and it takes practice, and like any skill, it can be honed. There is a sea, and I am captain of something unknown. Waves high as a mountain.